smoke and mirrors. So these are the legendary series of playing cards by Dan and Dave Buck, and as the sole person who can tell Dan and Dave apart,
Dan, how are you? Hey, it's actually Dave. My bad.
I think I have the right to have an opinion on this. This is not like a sponsored review. We owe Dan and Dave a lot because literally the first video on this channel was the one that won the contest for Dan and Dave's birthday, and this is how it all started. And these playing cards have changed the industry forever. Like over 200,000 decks were sold.
Smoke and Mirrors were a fantastic run. We thank you for that, and we hope you enjoy this final edition.
So it's been over 9 years since Buck Brothers released the V7.
They're gone forever. We're discontinuing the brand.
And now they decided to drop a V8, not only one, but 5 decks at a time. This gold version is being released on the Christmas Eve. A new color, they decided to add some details on the back design. We'll be checking this out and I'll be giving away some decks at the end of the video. Alright, so when we talk about Smoke and Mirror series, we need to talk about the OG decks. This is it. This is the first and the second edition of Smoke and Mirrors.
We found an artist we liked from the UK. His name was Cy Scott. We contacted him. Thankfully, he was cool enough to accept. And we started working on some original concepts and designs, and that's what led us to Smoke and Mirrors. So I still have a couple. I don't have many. This was the first 2 decks we came out with. We came out with them as a set and called one Smoke and one Mirror. This was back in, I think, 2008, but this is what started it all. I think if we add up all the decks we've produced since, I would say it's gotta be close to 80. It's crazy.
This is not even the first version, so this is the second version, this is the third version. First 3 versions of Smoke and Mirrors were released in black and white colors, and then they followed up with some colors.
After getting sick of black and white, since we had done 6 of them so far, or 3 editions, we decided to switch it up and do a colored edition. Not only is it colored, but we simplified the back design.
The first one was in green color, and some were featuring the seal over here. This is the first time they introduced the seal.
Funny story, while the US Playing Card Company was printing these, they accidentally messed up half of the run. 2,500 have seals and 2,500 don't have seals. I think we only did 5,000 of this deck for whatever reason, I'm not sure.
Nonetheless, the cards were fantastic. They simplified the back design, of course, and the colors are really nice. They're continuing to simplify the faces of the cards, so it is still looking very stylish. Then they followed with the V5 denim edition. It's kind of matching the denim that I'm wearing right now.
For these we printed 10,000 and they sold out really fast.
The edges are quite thick, and some people are actually preferring the edges on the cards to be quite thick like that. They feel amazing too, despite I feel like these have to be printed at the new factory in Kentucky.
They had some engineers build an entirely new printing press, and for a while the quality, as we all know, sucked. It was a huge disappointment to the Magic world and the cardistry world. But in recent years, in all honesty, they've made some huge improvements.
They are matching the blue tone of the backs, so over here you can see. Very nice. Only sophisticated card is the Ace of Spades.
In 2011, we decided to up the stakes and print 15,000 of the red ones. At the time of the release, Dave and I were at a conference in Montana at a really small bed and breakfast with terrible internet service. So we were working away on our computers trying to release these, and it was just a nightmare, very frustrating. We thought we weren't going to be able to do it. The site crashed, so many things happened. It was a long story, but we got through it. Not only that, in under a minute, we had sold out of all 15,000 decks. So if you think that's a lot of cards, wait until this next part. We decided to put up another 15,000, and those also sold out in just a couple minutes. So in under 5 minutes, we had gone through 30,000 decks with several thousand orders. That's a lot of cards.
And this is the original edition, version 6, and I actually don't have one opened on me, so I want to open it right now. This is the old one. Look at this. beautiful red color, and the back design still remains unchanged. Borders are still thick. The faces are now complementing the back design. They have this red colors over here. Again, simplistic faces, they didn't change anything for this deck, but it still feels amazing. Despite being printed, like I said, at the new factory. The best part about having a blank card in your deck is that you have a blank deck, but if you want, you can make it proper deck like that. Very nice. They also teased us with the next edition. So these red decks were supposed to be the last ones. And they released not only one deck, they released the entire box.
I think everyone thought they were getting a single deck, but when we dropped it, we dropped not one, but 6 decks in this fancy box.
They are obviously adding perforated seals on each deck of the new reprints, and they promised us that this would be the last edition and the brand will never come back.
We haven't really put out another edition in the same style as these, so we stayed true to that. But we did release a private reserve, a gold edition.
This wasn't really numbered. They decided, you know what, only 2500 of these will be available, and these are opening sideways. Not really the easiest solution to produce, believe us, because we have already done this. This is EDV2, our deck of playing cards, open sideways. It feels like there is nothing special, but it is quite a hassle and challenge to produce these decks.
These were all hand assembled. It took forever. Lesson learned.
But when you open, you get a deck wrapped in gold foil, numbered and kind of signed. I'm not sure if this is signed by hand. You can open and unwrap it like that. These decks are going for like hundreds of dollars on eBay, and they're quite rare. And now we have this. This is a new edition of Smoke and Mirrors. It is a red deck, but the red is different. If you compare it to the red that we had before, you can see that it is a little bit brighter and a little bit more vibrant color of red, and inside we get a deck of playing cards that is kind of different. So they decided to go back to that kind of sophisticated back design. This is how it looked, and this is the second reprint of the red edition. People aren't really buying these decks for design, let's be honest. They're buying only because it is a Dan and Dave deck of playing cards. And I must say, I honestly prefer these ones to this crush stock, and of course these were sold out very quickly, one color at a time. So let's compare two black versions. This is the special edition, which is the second deck, the OG, and this is the one that was released just recently. This one has a glossy box, of course, and this one has a matte box. So the goal of these, I believe, was to reproduce what we see in the luxury edition. So they look almost the same, and I would probably say that this is the same deck of playing cards. So they sourced literally the same files and used the same back design to reproduce this black edition, and of course it has black borders. I must say USPCC really missed the mark with this one. As you can see, this border is kind of misprinted. I thought that Carta Mundi is taking over, and this is something that we will never be seeing. We obviously can compare the new blue version with the old OG blue version. This one, I feel like it looks a little bit better for my liking. And of course, the tint of that blue is very, very nice. Should you be getting that if you have this one already, or like if you have any other deck? It depends. And of course, the final one, the gold version, it is a little bit different compared to what they did with the private reserves. And I feel like this is shimmering under the light much, much better than the original private reserve, which was the original gold deck, I guess. Probably, very likely, it is Metallic Inks. If you picked up a few of these decks, I think you will be treating yourself very nicely, because these are going on eBay for 40 bucks already, and it's ridiculous how pricey these cards can get. So make sure you check out Dan and Dave's Instagram and follow them there. But this is DDD. Do you remember this guy? Do you recognize him? This is Chad Nelson, and he is a good friend of Dan and Dave, and he's a good friend of ours because he sent us a few of his decks. I will not be even opening this. The design inside is actually very cool, and these are very limited. So Chad Nelson said that he's only sending this to his friends and to people who are working with him in Magic industry. He is actually crushing the Los Angeles scene. So all you need to do to win these 6 Wish Wonder decks of playing cards is Subscribe to our newsletter, that's how we'll be finding out a better way to communicate with you. I personally build all the newsletters, we send like once a month, and then we'll be able to send you your prizes and establish who is entering the giveaway this way. And of course, the second condition is just cheekily link this video to your Instagram stories so everyone can do this right now. It's a popular feature. I hope you have safe holidays and a fantastic next year. We have so many plans for our next videos on this channel. Stay tuned. Much love. Do побачення.